Hello, me again. It's Wednesday, August 12th, and we are going to continue on with our presentation. We left off yesterday talking about special education services. Like I was saying, everyone in my room is in special ed. Um, and what does that mean? I know you've probably heard special education or I have an IEP, but what does that mean? Special education ranges from individuals who are gifted and talented to severe and profound. That might mean somebody who really needs a lot of help and might depend on someone else for care. Each child in special education has been diagnosed with a condition. So you might have something that you have been diagnosed with, whether it's autism or a communication, speech, or language condition. You might have a mild, moderate uh, intellectual disability. And again, all of that is okay because that's what makes up you and makes you special. Um, every person in special education has an individual education program, and that's called an IEP. That talks about the individual and their wants and needs that they have, and the services needed. So, for example, if you are a person that has a speech or language concern, you might work with Mrs. Hyde or Miss Chobaney on speech and trying to practice to make your speech better or to communicate better. You might have classes in my room or Miss Flynn's room or Miss Sheets or Miss Mochek or Miss May's room. And those classes are to help you learn things on your level, to understand things that are broken down so they're not as complicated and abstract and really hard for you to learn. Because some of the stuff like math and English and some life skills topics can be really difficult. So all the teachers down here, we like to break them down into pieces of information that are easier for you to understand and learn. Every year you have a case conference committee team that meets. That is made up of your family, like your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, uncle, aunt, whoever you may be your guardian, teachers, administrators like Mrs. McLaren, and any outside agencies. So if you have somebody that you work with for behavior or things like that, and they come into the meeting, they might be helpful at developing your IEP. Your IEP is that paperwork, that document that gets sent home, and it talks about here are my strengths, here are my weaknesses, here are the services that I need, here's the goals that I'm working on. So every year your team creates some goals that are good for 1 year. You're working from 1 year to till your next meeting to try to have to learn and grow in those areas that those goals are targeted. So the reason why we do this is to help you to become the most successful in school that you could possibly be, and to help to transition you from when you're going to high school until adulthood. So the closer you get to exiting high school, that's when you leave high school, when you graduate and leave high school, we want to be sure that you have all the skills and in place to become successful as an adult. And sometimes those can be helping your family get connected to resources on the outside, which we'll talk about in a little bit. By the time you turn 14, your paperwork changes a little bit, and we call it a transition IEP. So once you turn 14 is technically like when students transition to high school. They move to high school, and that's when we start talking about things related to how can we get this person better, them ready to transition to adulthood, whether it's looking at, jobs or a job training program or things like that. So at age 14, that's important to note, that's when your paperwork changes its focus from not just thinking about in school, but like focusing on your future and what down the road would you need to be successful. So I just kind of mentioned some of the things that a transition IEP focuses on, but it will talk about the student's interest, what they're interested in learning when they exit from high school, what education is needed for them for after high school, what type of work and experiences and job interests that you may have. Sometimes you do job experiences in school. We've done in-school jobs like the coffee cart or mail delivery, and we've also done off-campus jobs during the day, like if you've gone to Thrifty Threads or St. Vincent Hospital, those type of job settings. Those are good pieces of information to have regarding your experiences in those opportunities. We talk about what skills you already have to gain employment and ones that you would need to gain, those skills you'd need to gain. We talk about where you'd like to live. We'd also talk about how much you can do independently. Sometimes you can do a lot by yourself. Sometimes you need a little bit of help when it comes to living on your own. Like, can you manage your money? Can you take care of a household? Those type of things. And the next slide, what is transition? And here's kind of a little chart I made where it's like you're going from school to graduation, and then you're going to go to work. You might go to a paid position. You might volunteer somewhere if you still need a lot of help on the job. You might stay home and do things around the house and help out with your mom around the house, or you might go to a day program or a training program. Those are a couple things that you might do. A day program is kind of like school, where they have activities during the day, and then a training program is a program kind of like IUPUI Site Program, Erskine Green, Project Search. All of those programs help you gain employment skills through internships and additional training. So we're going to leave off our discussion right there for now, and then we will come back on Thursday and do a little bit more discussion. As always, please call me, email me if you have any questions. And the next part of your assignment today is to fill in the missing parts on your notes. All right, see you tomorrow. Take care.